I'm Farzana and I'm going into my master's year of engineering at Cambridge. So in the past 2 years, I've done a lot of work with women in STEM and getting people into university. This year, I've chosen to look at how we as a Beacon community and Beacon family learn from each other. And so, why did I choose this? I've been quite lucky to be in environments where people have been quite active in learning from each other. One is a group of engineers from my college. Every year, the older engineers write a guide about the different modules they've taken and what worked well, what didn't work well, what combinations work. And they pass that down to the younger students. So you have like a chain of learning. The second thing is, during my internship this summer, I've worked in a company that has a huge bank of knowledge, and not just knowledge, but of connections. So you know who you can speak to discuss a certain problem. And so I just thought that it's quite important for us to, as the Beacon expands, get our own sort of bank of knowledge that we can use, particularly like between scholars. And so, how am I going to do this? So my plan is to use an online sharing platform, a Google Drive probably. And the reason for this is it's quite easy to use. It's quite easy for everyone to sort of collaborate on documents, and also we can easily control like access rights. And third, you might wonder, like, why not say Facebook? And I think it's quite important for us to keep our sort of social media presence and our like professional lives separate. And so that's why I've chosen the Google platform. And so this here is a, oopsie, what did I do? That's a sort of sample layout of what the online platform will look like. And so what sort of things are we going to put on this platform? So the way I've looked at knowledge is splitting it into two bits, into material knowledge and into experiential knowledge. So material knowledge, I've been lucky enough through the processes that I've gone through in my sort of school and career up to date to be able to learn how to write things like personal statements, university applications, job applications, and I've sort of learned the secrets behind what makes like an application letter good. And I've been able to help a few other, say, university applicants with writing their personal statements. And so I have quite a lot of this knowledge in my head, but that's not a good place for it to be, for everyone to benefit. And so the first step with the material knowledge is I'm going to create instruction guides on the things I know how to do quite well and put them on the platform so that if you're ever in a place where you need to write a CV, you can see a guide on this is how you write a CV, this is what looks good, here are some external links that you can find, like more examples of a good CV, that sort of thing. So I'm going to start with the things I know how to do well. And the idea behind this is you will eventually take over and also write similar guides on some of the things you know how to do well that say I don't. And we're going to put this all on our Google Drive in the documents. And so this would be an example. For example, that's my personal statement, and that's how I broke it down. And obviously, I would write a bit more detail on what each section looks like and how it looks good. And it's just so that we're able to start learning from each other. The second bit is the experiential knowledge. And this applies to scholars of all ages. Every year you go to school, you pick up little like tips and tricks that work well, like what went well, what were your challenges, how did you go through them, who did you speak to, and we need to start getting a way to sort of record scholars' experiences across all ages and to be able to pass this information down to younger scholars. And so I'm going to try this out for the first time this year in the next couple of weeks. And the way we're going to do this is I'll send out a questionnaire to everyone. It will be very simple, but the way we'll answer it is using a WhatsApp voice note. Why WhatsApp voice notes? One, questionnaires are quite annoying to fill in, and people don't tend to put, because you have to write it, you don't tend to answer them like as fully as you can. And so with a WhatsApp voice note, you'll have sort of the room to speak and to ramble on and on and on about, say, how was your year? What societies did you do? Were they interesting or not, or like what sort of recommendations would you give to someone going into the year you've just finished. And so we're going to do that, so you'll all send me voice notes, and then I'll compile these into guides that scholars can look at. And the idea is within 2 or 3 years, when a scholar is starting, say, year 10, they'll open this file and it's got all this information from previous students who've been in year 10 and like a guide to things that you should look out for. And so what's the end goal of this platform? It will be a bank of knowledge made by Beacon scholars, used by Beacon scholars. It's going to be, I'm also going to leave behind a process of collecting this information so that it's not just done once now, but it will be done every single year. And the final thing, like really looking into the future of this, is it will be a platform where people can establish connections. For example, if I wanted to do my summer citizenship project on recycling, is there someone within the Beacon community who knows about recycling and who I can go and talk to? This platform will be a way of linking people who want to do something with the people, the knowledge experts in that field. And so that's the really like long-term goal of this platform that I'm creating. And so just to close, a thank you to the whole Beacon community and for sort of the support and the guidance throughout the entire project. And I hope to develop this as something that we can use to really like grow ourselves from within. So thank you.